Grade 11s, good morning. This is it, the last week of summer semester. Can you believe it? Just 5 more days of class, then we have our final exam, and then that's it. Grade 11 English, over. All right, couple big things I wanted to touch base with you guys about today. I wanted to talk to you specifically about our full disclosure date. I wanted to talk to you about our upcoming final exam scheduled for next Monday. And I also wanted to talk to you specifically about the lesson and assignment that you have today. So first thing I wanted to remind you about is the fact that today is the full disclosure date. So that means that this morning specifically is your absolute drop dead last chance to decide if you would like to drop the course in order to avoid having it appear on your official school transcript. If you have decided that you would like to drop the course, then you absolutely must have a parent or guardian contact the summer semester program this morning in order to have you removed from the course. After this morning, this course, including the mark you achieve at the end of the class, whether you pass or fail, will appear on your transcript. This will be visible to post-secondary schools, so please make an informed decision. And if you do decide that you want to be removed, you absolutely have to call ASAP this morning. This opportunity to drop the course without it appearing on your transcript will no longer be available to you as of this afternoon. Whoever is left in the course as of that point this afternoon, your marks will appear on your transcript. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to use the numbers listed above to contact either the summer semester program office in Sarnia or the one in Chatham. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to touch base with you about was the specific timing for our final exams. So we know that final exams are going to be written next Monday, that's July 29th. All final exams are going to be written online. Just like our regular lessons and assignments, they're going to be accessed when you access the course online. You have the option of choosing to either report to one of the LKDSB summer semester sites. So you could come to Alexander Mackenzie Secondary School in Sarnia, or you could choose to go to John McGregor Secondary School in Chatham if you would like to go to an actual summer semester site where there are teachers available on hand should you have questions, or if you have kind of a shoddy internet connection and you want to make sure that you're going to have a reliable one the morning of the exam. You're also allowed to access the exam from wherever you happen to be. So you can write it from home, you can write it wherever you are on that day, as long as you have a reliable connection to the internet, as the exam will be accessed online. So you don't have to come to a summer semester site. You could choose to write it from home or wherever you've been accessing the course. We just ask that you double check that you do have reliable access to the internet, because it would be pretty stressful if you were writing your exam and then suddenly lost your internet connection or something like that. There's not a lot I can do to help you in that situation. So we want to make sure that you have double checked that wherever you do plan to write from is going to be a reliable source of internet for you. So on Monday, July 29th, everyone is going to start the exam at the same time. You will be starting your exam at 8:30 in the morning. The exam has a total time limit of 2 hours unless you have an official accommodation for double time, such as an IEP, or if you, for instance, are not a English as a first language learner and you have an official double time accommodation, then that would apply then as well. So 2 hours unless you have extra time. Starting at 8:30 in the morning. If you have any questions about this setup, please feel free to send me an email or instant message for clarification. Okay, so with regard to this specific lesson and assignment that you're going to be looking at today, I wanted to touch base with you about it because it is potentially disturbing. We're talking today about two emotionally challenging topics. Our warm-up today is going to require you to watch a video tackling a problem affecting many First Nations reserves across Canada, and that is the lack of access to potable or what we call drinkable water. The second video that you're going to be watching today in the actual action content is a documentary about residential schools. So you likely heard about residential schools at some point in your education, but if you haven't, it was a Canadian government policy that existed from the 1880s to 1996, and involved the removal of First Nations children from their homes, where they were then forced to attend school that prohibited the use of First Nation language and prohibited the practice of anything that remotely resembled their culture. The idea behind residential schools was essentially to, in the words of the people promoting them, to kill the Indian in the child. Children in these schools were very often verbally, physically, and sexually abused. And this documentary that you're going to be asked to watch today does not shy away from these topics. So, if you are struggling with this content, or if you feel the need to learn about residential schools using different material than the documentary that has been provided today, please do not hesitate to contact me or speak with someone you trust about how you're feeling, either a parent, a guardian, a teacher, or any of the resources that have been posted on our announcement page. After watching the documentary, you're going to go into the discussion board, you're going to select the Insert Stuff button, and you're going to go to Video Note in order to record a video of your reactions, including how the documentary made you feel, what it taught you, and any remaining questions that you have about residential schools. So this video should be recorded, as we said, in the discussion board provided. There's going to be specific instructions within that discussion board to show you exactly how you need to record that, but you will need access to a microphone and a digital camera built into your laptop or however you're accessing the course. If you're having technical difficulties, please send me an instant message or an email. Once you've posted your video to the discussion board, you are then going to need to comment on the reactions provided to you by at least 2 of your classmates. Remember that if you are looking for opportunities to improve your mark in the class, that this would be the type of situation where you can exceed expectations by providing more than the minimum required number of contributions. But we also want to remember what makes a good comment. So things like "I agree" or "that's a good point," those aren't thought-provoking conversation furtherers. Those are just gonna kind of stop the conversation dead. So please remember what makes a good comment. It's gonna be something that provokes a question or furthers the conversation in some way. So those would be things to keep in mind if you are looking for opportunities to bump up your mark down the road. If you have any questions about full disclosure, if you have any questions about our upcoming exam next Monday, or if you have any questions or concerns about the lesson content for today, please send me an instant message or an email. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.